Okay, guys, so quick video. I wasn't really sure if I was going to make this, but I think it's worth pointing out just before the race starts and some things to watch for. So one of the things I went through was what is Leclerc's gap in terms of his pole, especially his pole. This is his fifth pole, but at Singapore. And the reason why I think more than any race and more than any pole he's had, I think this is one is he's shown a little bit that he has room to be overtaken and that this isn't his strongest position. And when I've got the data here on screen, and I wanted to show you some of the times, especially as the interviews were completed yesterday. And one of the things I saw, like Max was saying, was we were surprised by the pace. Well, when you actually, I'm not going to go do it through the simulations I do on my end, but I'll show you the data side from F1 so we're all looking at the same data. So if you look on screen, and I'll go to when they're actually running the times. So the sectors are broken down by corners, of course. So you've got 8 in Sector 1, 8 in Sector 2, and 7 in Sector 3. And obviously it changes by race, but it's about the 23 turns for Singapore. So you see on Leclerc's second run, well, on Hamilton's second run, you see his sector times. He's green, green, purple. And if you factor in, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, fuel loads are different and everything like that, but if you look at in Q3, the two runs they always do, the provisional run and the final run, and you actually average those two times together. I've actually looked at each and every one of these turns and sectors by driver for those two, and I've aggregated them together. Now, the only reason Vettel's is a little off because he aborted the last couple turns to save his tires, to preserve his tires. His team didn't think, they obviously saw the lap Leclerc was on. They didn't think it was worth it. I still think that was a weird move for him to abandon the campaign. He didn't really make, if you look at the error he made, it wasn't really that bad. And he was actually on for a decent lap. But the one thing when you look at all this data and start doing the math is Verstappen is the fastest. And his average sector 3 times at 32.917. Leclerc's fastest sector 3 times at 32.947. Now that's really significant because you got that third DRS zone that they just added. Verstappen's second sector time, his average time, is a 37.21. Leclerc's is 37.23. Now again, Verstappen is faster there and it's on average. I'm not trying to take away from Leclerc's pole. He put everything together at the right time. But it is interesting to see that where Leclerc picked up the time was in the second round, and it was on turn 5 and 6 in Sector 1 because his average time was a 26.438, but Vettel's average time was Leclerc's average time was a 26.32. Vettel's average time was a 26.38, so it's right there. And Hamilton's kind of milquetoast through all this. He's strong, but he's actually slower than Verstappen on average. And so where Leclerc really just blew everyone away was his sector 1 time, especially Max. Max's sector 1 time was a 26.69. So in the first sector alone, he's picking up those 3/10. So that's significant because they're not going from a standing start every single lap, just the first one. So and with the DRS, Max is a very technical driver. This is Singapore with 23 turns. I think that's where his weakness is going to be today. I think not Valtteri. I think Vettel is going to prove to be a thorn. He technically, if you average all those together and we don't count the fact that he abandoned, he would have been faster than Max and Leclerc on average across the sectors and turns. So I just wanted to make that really quick video. It would be like, well, if Leclerc lose, at least I'm on record showing you the data. Like, don't be surprised. But at the end of the day, he put a good lap together. He deserves a pole, and I think he's going to be a formidable force for them to overtake. It's going to take some strategy. It's going to take a really good first lap from Max to try to stay close within those 3 DRS zones and 23 turns. But Max is incredibly strong through turn 16 to 23. So look out for that and just hope that the Honda's race pace is there because this is going to be a good race no matter what. But thanks, guys. Enjoy the race, and I'll talk to you after.